Still on day 4 in the John Skelton preliminary exam, in which a judge will decide whether John Skelton will go to trial for the alleged murders of his 3 sons in 2010. And in this video, I want to talk about some of the digital evidence, that being some of the messages, the cell phone movement, and custody history. John is having some sort of chat, and this is coming out in his Yahoo conversations that police have now accessed on his computer. This is a forensic examination of that computer, and these messages were between Skelton and some name that he had and someone identified as Cat. Police said that they don't know who Cat is and they have not investigated this person's identity. So again, on November 10th, he wrote, "It feels like Tanya is stringing me along." Then on November 18th, about a week before Thanksgiving and the boys' disappearance, those messages kind of get a little darker. He wrote that things with Tanya had gone from good to bad to worse and said it will all end this weekend though. When asked what he meant, he said, "I'm giving up." He also wrote, "She wants to be alone, then she will be alone." At another point, he wrote, "I'm well on the path to hurting her so much anyway, might as well complete the job, LOL." The conversation really repeatedly references his fear of losing his family and custody of his children. He wrote that Tanya would not agree to shared custody, said he was empty without her, and said tomorrow is my last day of pain. He said he had also given away all of his possessions. Then we heard from former FBI agent Christopher Hess, who analyzed Skelton's cell phone records from November 25th and 26th, which are really the 2 days in question. So Hess testifies that on Thanksgiving Day, Skelton's phone was near his Congress Street home for much of the day, but at one point it connected to towers roughly 19 miles away in the general area of Lazy River Campground. Now, this was in the very early morning hours of November 26th. So Hess says that this does not prove that Skelton was physically at that campground. He just used it as a point of reference. There was also a period with no phone activity for about 2 hours, meaning that investigators can't account for the device at that time. The phone later connected again near the Skelton home at 6:46 a.m., and the judge specifically asked Hess about whether the phone had moved a considerable distance from the house. He said yes, and that the phone would not have connected to those distant towers if it had remained at the Congress Street home there in Morenci. The judge also heard from Skelton's first wife, Michelle Lamphere. She testified about their marriage, specifically his drinking problems and their custody battle over their daughter, Katie. She said after she gained custody, Skelton was very upset and repeatedly said he would never be a part-time father. One thing that I have to say that a lot of us raised our eyebrows at was this woman testified that she had met a man online when Katie was 6 or 7 years old and decided to move to Boston with him, and decided that Katie probably wouldn't want to move to Boston and would want to be with family instead. So that's when she left her with John. Moving on. Michelle also testified that John's relationship with Katie eventually became less frequent, with calls sometimes only coming once every few months. Katie was eventually adopted, her choice, by Michelle's husband. And today was just kind of a mixed bag, little bit of digital evidence, the revelation on cross-examination that we may not see any physical evidence, and just a couple little nuggets from the ex-wife about possibly a motive, which would be that John said he never wanted to be a part-time father.